Well, I think we're ready to take a look at the standings here. So let's see where everything shakes out. It'll be up in just a moment. And
Ooh.
there you go. So a note with these standings too, from the admins, Aegon is back. Thankfully, the power came back in, but he did miss all of game two. So in order to ensure his absence doesn't negatively affect the others in his lobby when considering tiebreakers, his score has been amended to 0 points for game two instead of 1. This is because he missed the entire game and makes the fairest grounds for everyone in the lobby with the admin account that round. So there you go. That's how that situation will get resolved. And that said, taking a look at the standings right now, Sox and Robin Song tied number 1 for 20, but it's pretty tight. There's still a lot of room for players to move around in the last 2 games.
Yeah, hoping for the Aegon first somehow sneak into top 8, but pretty impressive showing from both Robin and Sox. Sox, I don't think we've gotten to see his perspective too much yet, and I'm sure we will. But this guy has been so dominant basically since set 2, and doing it while having a full-time job, which is incredible to me. So I'm happy to be seeing him do well. And Ubo, isn't Ubo an Oceanic player?
He is, yeah, he is.
That's dope. That's just dope.
Yeah. Right, because those are, again, like I feel like I know we've got plenty of fans from Oceania watching right now, but I think the North American scene especially isn't as familiar with these players. So it's cool to see some of them come up and make big names for themselves. I've been a fan of Polt for a very long time. He was a friend of mine when I lived in Korea. We hung out quite a bit back then. So to me, I'm really happy to see him performing this well, especially in light of the fact that Polt has been crushing the ladder in set 3, but has really struggled in tournaments. So to see him have a really good start for the first 3 games of today is encouraging, that he's maybe finally found his tournament footing, because we've talked about this before. He has like a very interesting, unorthodox style. So it's cool to see him do well. We'll see if that keeps up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very excited to see Polt. Actually, so Polt's been a high elo player in TFT for basically every set. And I also used to be a big StarCraft fan back in the day. And I actually had no idea that this was the same Polt who was a pro StarCraft player until I think it was like last week. I found out. I was just sitting there playing, and somebody actually mentioned it to me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's it.
I had this like almost like fanboy moment where I was sitting. It was like we ended up being final 2, and I remember sitting there. I was like, oh man, it's like 1v1. It's StarCraft all over again. Then he clapped me, and I was like, oh, that's how it goes.
Well, so I guess he played apparently some of set 1, and then he took set 2 off, and then he came back for set 3 and really started taking it like ultra seriously, and has now found the success. It's great. So we will check back in with Keen later after these games. We've got lobby number 3 or 4 rather, getting started here on board with Soju, as we see that it is a treasure trove Galaxy.
Shout out to Soju for using his face cam. One of the few.
Brave man.
Brave man.
A lot of players like to focus. No webcams, no chatting.
Yeah.
But Soju's getting it done and getting the interaction at the same time.
Yeah. So I'm interested, I think every player, they go into a tournament with a different strategy, and it's sort of reflected in their item starts. I know at least a few days ago, Soju was sort of like Cybers and Rebels. And, you sort of like Sword and Bow. So I wonder if he's still on that game plan or if he's revised his approach in the last few days.
Good question. I'm excited to see how Soju does. And he's had a pretty good start today. But he's another one of those players that he's been so good on ladder, but for whatever reason, tournaments just haven't been where he's been able to perform his best. And if you're going to pick a tournament to perform well in, this is definitely going to be the one. So it's encouraging to see him have a pretty solid start today too.
Yeah. His APM is so fast, dude.
I think everyone really needs to realize I feel like, if you're in lobby 2, in the second lobby, it's still anyone's game. I hope no one's feeling. I don't think they'll feel demotivated. They all play TFT. They're used to it.
Oh yeah, we're all used to like the ups and downs of sometimes you just don't top 4. Sometimes you don't top 4 multiple games in a row. But that doesn't mean you can't come back.
Ooh.
Can we say a space pirate game?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Pirate
this
opener.
Is a great start for space pirates.
Pirate opener on this patch feels so good.
It does.
They're so strong. And then if you get a gunblade in this with this start, oh man.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. And the thing is, he has so many outs, right? He has Gunblade, he has Hand of Justice, he has GA. So hopefully he hits something. There you go. Hand of Justice, Darius is insane.
Yep.
So he definitely plays that.
Now, the question is, does he want to commit to Space Pirates right away? Like, what do you guys think? Like, I honestly, I love this comp, but I have not gotten a chance, I feel, to play it that much yet in my own games. So when would you say is the time to commit to Space Pirates? Do you need the Darius too, or is this good enough?
I think you don't have to commit at all, and the Space Pirates are just good item holders. So
sure,
I think it's so flexible, and if you start high rolling it, it's just you can go with it. But I think I would not commit to Space Pirates. I just use them for now because they're so good at streaking.
Man,
Nino without no pivot Space Pirate.
The pirate life chose me.
Pirate has booty has chosen me, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with Becca. The nice thing about Space Pirates is it's just basically saying I'm just gonna win streak and make a ton of gold and do whatever I want. You could go for GP, but if the game's not looking that way, you can just use your gold advantage to sort of pivot into whatever your items support. So I agree with Becca. You don't necessarily need to commit right now, but it sure would be nice if you did.
Yes,
because it's fun.
Because it's fun.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of delicious milk.
GG.
Healthy beverage. He's got the Graves too, even so, or the Graves also even. So he's got that opportunity to add that in a little bit later. I feel like Graves is just kind of like the champion in Space Pirates. It just sits on the bench for a while. It's hard to, when you go the Jace Darius route, it can be a little bit difficult to work the Graves in. He actually sells it, so it looks like it's just going to be a 2 Space Pirate opener for, like you guys were saying, the gold gain, which makes sense.
Yeah, the thing with Graves is he's clearly weaker than both Darius and Jace, so you don't really need him until later, when around the time where you're starting to look for GP. So you can easily pick him up in stage 4 or late stage 3 and be okay. Right.
So you can keep the pairs. Holds on to the Leona for the Vanguard, maybe a little bit later. Oh, Ziggs too. I guess maybe put that, instead of the other Darius.
The nice thing about Ziggs also is you can play him in Space Pirate. Pretty much everything he has on his board except for Poppy, you can play with Space Pirate, because what happens is you end up running Rebels backline, like a Jinx and an Acel, because you're already playing Ziggs for Demolitionist.
Right.
So this is actually a pretty great opener if he does want to go that route.
He's definitely pre-leveling here, right? Or is he not for the lose streak? He's probably going to pre-level. I would assume he does. He's trying to see if he can make interest.
Yeah. I suppose it's possible, Space Pirate. There's one, and there is. Is he gonna get another one? Oh, Ziggs with the kill steal. oh no!
Oh, wow!
Getting
this
trolled.
Ziggs a big griefer.
Yep.
It's like me when I play League. Hey, but the lose streak's alive, and there's the pre-level.
Hey, as a bloodthirsty support man for many years, you earned those kills. those are not stolen. That's kill secured. That's kill earned.
I landed my Q. I deserve that kill.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's the fee. So he's going for GA.
Support tax.
He's getting that GA, so he's going to
nice.
Darius and win streak super hard. So he's got to be feeling really good about pretty much his entire stage 3 from this point, especially if he hits Darius too.
So here's a question again, like based on, as we switch views in a moment here, but this is based on like me not having played this comp as much. Would you put I realize the GA is very good on Darius, but would you possibly want to put it on somebody else in anticipation of the Gangplank later? Or is that just thinking way too far ahead?
I think it's thinking too far ahead, because he's a really strong unit, especially with the GA. He can like really clean up some of the fights. He can get you more gold. And you can always find a Darius later, an extra Darius later.
Cool. Agreed. Zugrug is the player we're going to be taking a look at now. A little bit of Brawler battlecast going on. He's got the red buff on Kog'Maw.
That looks like a great start.
That is the dream start if you want to play Jinx. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he can just keep. Wow, this is such an efficient board. If there was ever a game to see a Jinx take a first, this would be it. But we'll see if he hits his items as well. He even has a route for Ionic Spark later.
Yep. Strong start, good items. See what he can do. He's holding on to, the possibility of playing Infiltrator Battlecast with this instead. Sometimes that's stronger, but I think it's hard to imagine that to ever be stronger than what he's running already.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that going back to the last question you asked, I think the question about like whether or not you put the GA on Darius comes down to the old Space Pirates build having a Darius 3 a lot of the time. But now it's just back to like GP is God. So I think that's why it really doesn't matter as much. But I would see why it's harder to make that choice. Just because it used to be so strong with Darius.
I'm
Even
still
though they
stuck
actually
in like a
buffed Darius
Space Jam
3.
world.
Yeah, Space Jam was so fun with Cassidon buffing the Mana Reaver as well. Like,
oh yeah,
that's fun.
It's really just kind of, we've got such a tanky meta right now, you know, whether it's Vanguards or Protectors or something like that, where it's just really hard for like even a Darius 3 to get those resets. So that combined with Cassidon being gone for a while now kind of eliminated that comp from contention.
And the prevalence of GAs is huge in stopping Darius.
Yeah, agreed. He has sort of a very distinct point somewhere in stage 4 where he becomes way worse. So.
Yep.
And then GP takes over the carrying. So yeah, Zugrug, if I'm him, I'm really happy with the spot because he started streaking now. He's 20 gold on the dot.
And a less contested comp.
Yeah, less contested comp. So he's in a great spot.
We have a really tight top 5 already. I mean, obviously it's a point in the game where people wouldn't lose a lot of HP by now, but 2 players win streaking into Krugs, into Terror Bursters, I guess we should say. It's the official title.
Terror Bursters.
They're those guys. They're Terror Bursters.
WH Omega lol.
Terror Bursters, Sights, Arc Raptors. You know, the usual.
Though I'm glad you know the official names because I definitely do not.
It's because I'm so into the lore. You know, the Terror Bursters are really just Krugs that have like expanded.
Wait, they really have lore?
If a Krug, no, I'm just making this up actually. But if a Krug, think about what a Krug looks like. And if a Krug, like if it's like all its rocky shell opened up, wouldn't it look like that thing?
That's a gruesome image.
Well, maybe it's just like a Pokemon, just evolving, you know?
Oh, I guess. Yeah. Okay, like a butterfly.
It's just Terror Burster.
Yeah, they're coming out of the chrysalis. I see.
Right.
Okay, I like that.
A beautiful butterfly.
There you go. Oh, Soju hit the Darius 2 with GA.
That's big to keep that the winning going.
Yeah, but surprisingly, he's pretty low health. I mean, for stage 2. So I guess he had 2 bad rounds there to be at 78 now.
Losing a lot of his early rounds, but he was getting some. Oh, he didn't get his Darius 2.
Oh, someone else?
Maybe someone else.
Maybe that's why he didn't get it then.
But no, he was losing a lot of his rounds, but he was still getting some pirate gold. So
that's really all you need. A little bit of
silver lining,
Yeah, if you can take that saved up gold and then stabilize in the mid game, then then it's worth it. But it is tough. Wow, it's Pat down at 65. Not a huge point of concern, but you'll want to start trying to sustain that a little bit more. If you go into Krugs / Terror Bursters 70 or lower, that's usually when you start getting a little bit concerned. But time to stabilize now, because I feel like stage 3 is generally trends towards being like the trickiest stage for almost all comps. What do you think?
Yeah, I think stage 3 is one of the most complex part of the game, right? Because you don't usually have a clear comp. You might have a direction, but you don't necessarily have a comp. So a lot of it's relying on your understanding of like what units are strong just as individual units, and then really good positioning.
Yeah, I would agree. That's kind of, and it's sort of one of those things that stretches across like all comps. That's perpetually tricky to put together.
Exactly.
Wow, Sphinx getting the win against Zugrug there.
Yeah.
Right.
Sphinx having a really good game. Already hit the vein with Last Whisper and another glove. He doesn't have to worry about items at all. So he's in you're getting the general idea. But I love Cybers, and I love that position for Cybers.
Yep. I used to just hate cybernetics. I don't know what it was. I think it was maybe the echo search before 3.5, but yeah, I used to just detest playing it. Nowadays, though, I'm okay. Cybers and me, we've we've had a chat. We've come to an understanding. I will play the comp.
Nice. It's really good on Treasure Trove. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I feel like Treasure Trove is just so fun. You never feel like you're low rolling until you get 3 until you get 3 cloaks, and then you're like, why is this? I'm low rolling on the high roll. Galaxy feels bad.
What's the most cloaks you've ever gotten in a game?
I think it was 4.
Oh
It
no.
felt bad.
I think everybody's had that 4 cloak game.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
I'm very good against some mages.
it's like I've got a Runins, I guess, and I've got you know, Runins Swordbreaker. There you go. Yep.
Yep. That's
No.
it.
No, this is the perfect item combination. Actually, I've discovered. I've cracked the code. It's the 4 cloak master comp, right? Where you do someone who attacks fast, and then you go Runin's Swordbreaker, and then Dragon's Claw, and then you go up against no Sork board can beat you because they can't hit you, so they can't get mana, and so then they can't ever cast their spells. And even if they do, you've got a Dragon's Claw preventing the damage.
And
There
then
you
you
go.
get one shot by the Jin that your
Well,
Swordbreaker didn't hit.
Doesn't matter. 4 cloaks, best start
Oh,
ever in the history of the
okay.
game.
You take the 4 cloaks. I'll take the 4 brawlers gloves.
Nah, not important. No.
It's a bait.
Carousel. Oh, we found a Nico. All right, we found a bow. More importantly, and there's a Giant Slayer now for the Kog'Maw. Yeah, but we're gonna swap views. We're gonna see what Raza from the Oceania region is up to. Looks like it's a little bit of Rebels, Demolitionist.
And
the
there's
Darius
his
going.
too, but not
Yeah.
nearly as good items. So I guess he's going mech from this spot. Yeah, he's trying to go mech.
Oh
from
yeah.
So the Fizz waiting game begins. You know, depending on how he's doing, he could even consider rolling at 4-1, which is what some people do to hit Fizz.
True.
The Blitz and Rumble interaction is kind of funny, right? Because if you have the Blitz behind the Rumble, it'll ruin Rumble's ult so hard because he'll just focus on the one unit instead of going for an AoE ult. So I think he just placed the Blitz as far away from his Rumble as he could.
Yeah, that's a great point. Blitz actually can grief a lot of your units.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you put them too close to Gnar or GP and they turn around, so you got to be really careful.
Hey,
Or
didn't
they
even need to roll. How about that?
Just hit.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah.
Or they all
Hashtag
use
just
their
hit.
ult on the one unit that he pulled, the AoE ult.
Right.
Yeah, it feels bad.
That feels so good for him. He has really good items for his mech, and he doesn't have to roll, and he can just go 8.
Yeah, that is massive.
Yeah.
Because you don't, like you said, you generally have to roll a little bit at 7. Like rolling at 4-1 has kind of always been the traditional let's find Fizz, you know, round for mech. But being able to save all this gold, not having to do it, that is fantastic for Raza.
Yeah. And he has good items into this matchup. I don't love Bramble on mech more generally, but it's pretty good versus Cybers.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of interesting how Bramble really fell out of meta
Yeah.
after being super meta. I guess everyone just started prioritizing Last Whisper, or the magic damage comps.
Yeah, I guess when you think about it too, like blasters just aren't S tier right now. Jinx comp can be good, but we see people tend to avoid it right now. So the things that Bramble was better against aren't as prevalent, it seems like right now. But it's still a lot of armor, so it's still an okay item. Definitely.
Ooh, M35
Oh, wow, that mech,
has
though.
perfect mech items.
I was gonna say I'd rather have the Hand of Justice for sure.
That is the Chad mech.
Yep.
Beta mech is what we're watching.
The underdog mech.
Underdog mech, sorry, not
There you
beta.
go.
It's not beta at all. So at this point, I'm curious from both of you guys, let's say, because it is treasure trove, so there's a chance that he hits some items, like better items than Bramble. Would you ever just remake the Rumble?
Totally. He's only got a Rumble 1, so why not? Yeah, like it is a weird thing to kind of consider, but I think it's one of those like fringe cases where you really do want to do that. And okay, he's not going to remake it, but I would have been a little bit tempted there.
Yeah. He went 8 on 4-1. He wanted to get there before the other mech guy, I guess.
Fair point.
I feel like he wasn't that. Maybe he thought he was too weak.
That felt like a weird play.
Well, it could just be a different meta since he's on a different region.
True, yeah.
People roll more often on 4-1, which would make a lot of sense if he wants to beat other people.
I don't think there's any region on Earth that prioritizes economy and playing greedy with that as much as the North American region does. Like basically every other region, whether it's like EU or Korea or China, or Oceania. It seems like all of those players from those regions tend to roll a little bit more aggressively. And you've got your exceptions, of course, in North America that tend to play a little bit more aggressively. But in general, having talked to like a lot of players in Europe, especially, it seems like North America just like really, really, really is like 50 gold, interest levels are bust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the capitalist meta. Got to make as much gold as possible. So,
Wouldn't the capitalist meta be like spending as much as possible though?
You spend it all at once.
Did you
he
see
didn't
the
get the rebel
despair
buff.
on his face? Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think it's the biggest deal though, so it should be fine.
Yeah,
Or
that's not
it
the end of the
shouldn't matter
world.
too much. Yeah.
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 I guess because Caitlyn would have died a little earlier.
Yeah. Not super impactful at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. So items are interesting here because he has a spat. He can make an infiltrator spat, which allows you to run 4 infiltrators without making too many sacrifices. Because generally you don't want to run 4 infiltrator without a spat because you lose mystic. So that's good. If I were him, I'd just be worried about his tier situation. Technically, you only really need 1 for Shojin, but I don't think he even has a sword. So he could end up in a pretty ugly scenario if he can't get a blue buff or a Shojin for his Victor.
Right. That's a good point.
But it's treasure trove, right? So everyone usually ends up happy. So we'll see.
Yeah, you usually find most of the items you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that Teemo is so stacked.
Speaking of finding the items you're looking for, he's got the crit build with Teemo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if he does hit his Victor and his infiltrators, he's okay against Astro Snipers.
Yeah. Did you see that mid-fight trap claw? That was so good. Too bad he still loses, but yeah.
I missed it, but yeah, looks like it didn't matter. So Raza, the funny thing is like things looked good because he found the mech like right when he wanted to. But yeah, the roll to 8 feels like maybe his comp, he would like his board to be a little bit different than it is. Oh, full item carousel. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, the roll to 8 is a bit weird to me. I'm interested to see where he goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like he ended up losing a lot of potential gold to roll by going 8 this early. And I think it's going to impact his ability to get upgrades now on his board because he's still pretty far from the Fizz 2. No victors to speak of. So it feels like it was premature to me.
I think the full item carousels on stage 4 is the most devastating because so many people are placing so much hope on that carousel to like finish some of their core items, and then you see the GP with the disarm, and you're like, oh no, I guess I'll take the GP. But
hey, it's a GP. Why not? Disarm. Yeah, it's not the greatest in the world, but interesting. All right, so on board with Cottontail now, and he's going for a Sorcerer comp.
Yeah.
Cool. So we don't see a ton of these, I feel like, in competitive play. It's still pretty common on the ladder, but for whatever reason, in the recent tournaments that I've been casting, like we've seen a distinct lack of Sorcerer comps.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure why that is. I don't know, Becca, do you have a opinion on that? I'm not super clear on why Sork isn't doing a little bit better in this tournament overall.
Oh, Sorks?
Yeah.
Well, I actually think, okay, so I felt really bad about Aegon DCing because he was playing Star Guardian into a 2 Cyber top 4 lobby. So I was like really looking forward to Star Guardians doing well there. Yeah,
it can definitely be good against Cyber unless the Aurelia jumps on the Cinder like right away or something.
Yeah, but typically I think the Nico saves him.
Yeah, a lot of if your Nico's back far enough, yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately Aegon DC'd. Honestly, I would have to think about why I don't play Sorks myself, right? And it's hard to evaluate that. Maybe just because everyone plays Mystic or it's so easy to get Mystic in, and then some of the items are a lot more contested. Like you would play the tiers in like a lot of comps right now, mech, Astro Sniper, etc. But yeah, actually, I think maybe people just aren't rolling the Sorks because I would think the Nico and like 6-star Guardian build wouldn't be too bad, or I guess you can also go Pipa comp. It's hard. This is a hard question.
I think
if you can go Sorks, why not go Pipa?
Well, there's that. Yeah, I think as someone who's played a ton of Star Guardians and tried to force it in like every patch, basically right now there's just a lot of small things stacking against you that add up to just not playing it. One of the ones is how contested like Nico is, how contested the items are is another thing like you mentioned. Another thing that I think is that in the early and mid game, some of the trees that you use to get towards the other comps that use those items, like snipers and Vanguard Mystic, are a little bit more consistent in terms of sustaining your HP in the mid game, where sort comps can be a little bit rough because you need to start putting in sorcerers, but it's hard to make them strong.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So I think it's just like a lot of little things that make other comps more appealing.
Well, if there's any scenario where it makes sense to play Star Guardian, this is it. He just has such a good drop for him. God, I love this Galaxy. So yeah, now he can just go 6 Star Guardian with Victor, which is kind of a throwback. And
But do you play the Hodge or do you play the Shojin?
I
Save
think
the Shojin for Janna, I think.
Yeah, I think Shojin, and eventually you want to get it to Janna, but honestly, there's nothing wrong with making it right now on Victor. He's good with it too, right?
Yeah, true. Do you feel bad about selling the Victor later?
No.
Nah.
All right.
Well, I don't think I would. Maybe. I mean, I don't think so. You could play if you get the Janna. The luxury pick is to play the Xerath, so it's not like Victor's the end game.
True.
Yeah. Like I think if it's Victor 2, you don't sell for Janna 1, but at equal star level, you sell for Janna.
Oh yeah. In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
For sure. I just miss Lux. Where's my CC bot?
Me too, man.
Great.
Yeah. Great unit. That was actually what was that? That was set 2, right?
Yeah, well, she went out in the set 3.5 swap, right? So Lux was taken out along with Kassadin. And I think honestly, like that is one of the biggest impactful things that happened to Star Guardian Sork, because we talked about a moment ago. I was mentioning how I thought the early and mid game were a little bit harder to play through when you play Sorks now. And one of the main reasons is that you really relied on Lux in a lot of cases to provide that crowd control to give your Sorks time to do their thing. So losing Lux hurt this style of comp a lot, I think.
It's funny because you said Lux, and I was actually thinking set 2, like Elementals Lux.
Oh, that Lux, yeah.
I missed that Lux, Darkstar Lux.
Oh, me too. That was an awesome Lux. Yeah.
I forgot about that Lux.
Yeah. Way back.
That was a fun time. That was my favorite part of set 2, I think, is all the different Lux builds. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they bring back like a 10 cost unit type deal in set 4. That would be
10
cool.
cost?
Yeah, she was a 10 cost, right?
What?
She cost 10 gold.
I think
no, she was 7, dude.
Oh, 7. You know what I mean. More than 5.
Yeah. I would love to see like an ultra crazy 10 cost unit though. Like that's not a bad idea. That sounds fun.
Oh man, now he just made the Victor and then he got the Xerath.
Oh.
Super relatable. But he has the Star Guardian spat, so he has options.
Yeah.
Which Star Guardian does he not have in 6? Okay, there's Soraka.
Well, he's missing Poppy and Janna right now. Or is he? Okay, he's got the Star Guardian spatula, so he doesn't need the Poppy. Yeah.
I gotta say,
would you not double Zizirot the Nico for the fun?
Actually, I really like putting Zizirot Portal on Rakan, because oftentimes he'll dump a Void minion in their backline, and then their carries will focus that for a little while, which messes up targeting a lot. So I actually have always loved Zizirot on Rakan. Didn't work out this time.
The triple Zizirot mechs.
Don't remind me.
So many Zizirots.
Do you see that Syndra full heal off her ult?
Yeah, that's what Hextech will do.
Yeah, well, Hextech and Celestial.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the lack of Sork is due to maybe GP's good versus Sork. I feel like it's not that much of an issue if you position correctly.
GP's been good
after the game.
Yeah. We'll see how well Cottontail does. He's currently pretty comfortable in 3rd right now. The lobby is got a bit of a drop off between 4th and 5th, so it's not the tightest middle of the lobby we've ever seen. I'm really curious what Marcus is playing right now, up at 78 HP with the win streak. But we're going to jump on board with WoW. It's Pat at the moment. Okay. And so we'll see what the mid game looks like for him. So he's going snipers again.
So maybe I think I just figured out why I wouldn't want to play Sorks is because everyone plays Shroud, and then you can't even really split them up because Nico has to protect. And then there are infiltrators that will get on your carries if they're all split up. And there's like the Mana Reave on in Cybers, there's Mana Reave in Blasters with Ezreal. So yeah, I think that's probably why Sorks aren't as popular. Sorry, that took me like I was like, there must be a reason why I don't like playing it.
Well, it's what you mentioned is just like yet another reason, which is what like I think what we've all been like describing is a lot of like small to medium size annoyances with playing this comp that just adds up to it being, you know, nearly unplayable. That said, Cottontail wins around anyways, so maybe we should all be giving this a better chance.
Well, that person didn't have Mana Reave in, and
True.
dude, they just nerfed Mana Reaver, and also you can start Protectors and go into Sorks. I think Sorks is still probably fine to play, and then you have to just sweat the positioning really hard once you're in late game.
That's what I found is that you just really need to be ready to like move your carries up to like the second line and like just reverse position things really fast.
Yeah,
which can be tough.
Yeah,
need that APM.
It's in every role.
Oh yeah, it's an interesting point. I agree. Shroud, you know, kind of makes life difficult for Sorks, but you know, Shroud did get nerfed and it's less prevalent now. So I'm wondering other reasons too, but that's definitely gotta be one of them. You get punished very hard still, but I feel like going back to Pat's board here. This board, like I guess I don't know, is Morello's really important for Teemo because there is healing in this lobby now. These are really good high damage items, but I feel like the healing is going to be kind of significant later in the game.
Yeah, I wonder because I think if Jhin is a major carry too, obviously. So maybe if Jhin has really good items, you can get away with having subpar Teemo items. This seems to be a way to streak effectively through the mid game and set yourself up for a top 4, which while it's Pat has just achieved. So he got the top 4 at least. But I agree. I don't know if these are like it's a first Teemo items. You know, what do you think, Becca?
I mean, if you can burst them down, you don't need the healing debuff.
True. But can you in the late game?
And that's the reasoning why Victor has Morello, right? Because he doesn't burst them down in mechs with just 2 Sorks. He doesn't just kill them. So you need them to stay low. But, you know, I mean, obviously I'd still rather have Morello, I think. I think it's just a safer, more reliable item on him.
If he finds another Teemo too, he may actually remake now because he has that Morello.
Would you?
I wonder.
I don't know. If I would. I think you just place Morello on anyone else.
Yeah,
Wukong's a good user of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he uses it fine. As long as he has it somewhere in the comp, I think that's all he really needs. But yeah, this is it's interesting because he has a lot less health, but his board is looking really, really good.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he can streak from this point.
Rageblade may seem a little bit weird on the Karma, but it's AP, so it makes her ability better. So that does make a little bit of a difference. So why not? Big mech stun. Mark is playing a very strong mech board right now. Look at that Xerath in the back line, actually. That's going to start to be a problem for people too. Not this game, not this round, apparently.
Yeah, Mystic diff also. Mystic's so helpful. Poor Xerath, man. He went from being the man to what he is now. He was so dominant with Janna, and then he kind of fell off a cliff.
I think Xerath 1 especially just he's just so fragile right now. If you can get Xerath 2, he's still pretty good, but I think it's really hard to run a Xerath 1 in this particular meta.
So let's see. Cottontail. I'm pulling for Cottontail. I really want to see this comp work, especially since he has I feel like he has pretty much the best scenario to run Sorks with the spatula.
Yeah.
3
items on Janna.
Going A here.
Oh, Jhin. No, you shouldn't be flying through the air right now. That's not a good thing.
He killed the GP before he even ulted.
Dude.
Oh, man.
And then they targeted the Acel pretty early.
Ooh, it's complete white. That's like a 20-something damage hit.
I'm not gonna ever like criticize Crit Teemo again.
Right? Yeah, it's
good.
Like Becca said, you just kill them. It doesn't matter, right?
The Crit Teemo was one of the first things I played in PBE for set 3. Just because I was like, oh, Teemo's streams sound really fun. I'm just gonna make him do as much damage as I can. But then it did not go well because I did not have blue buff on it.
Yeah. That feels bad for Zugrug, right? Because you have GA on GP, you expect him to at least get 1 ult and still nothing.
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
That is a huge tilter when your GA unit does not ult.
But really good positioning by Pat. Credit to him for positioning the Teemo to target the GP there. That was actually
Oh, that Teemo shroom killed this
Oh my
whole
goodness.
backline.
Wow.
All right, I'm gonna go spam IE Jewel Gauntlet Teemo.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe it's time to start playing Sorks again.
I mean, Jin destroyed the front line, and then Teemo just killed the back.
Yeah, this is yet another game where we're seeing Astro Snipers do extremely well. So
it's just a comp that has so many answers to everything basically at this point.
We just have to play 4 infiltrators after today, I think.
Oh, no.
we'll see
Everyone's
that.
gonna be playing Astros.
Crit Teemo though I think can handle infiltrators probably. We'll see. Still 4 people in the lobby remaining. We're gonna see what Zugrug is up to. He does have the Aurelion Soul too, with some pretty good items. Although Giant Slayer, Aurelion Soul. Does that?
Yep, it works.
It does work. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I've not tried that myself yet. So
yeah, I think probably what's throwing you off is that it traditionally was thought of as a physical damage item, but it works well with spells as well.
Yeah, I suppose the new one does. Yeah. All right. Well, you wish that was a GP2 if you're Zugrug right now, and GP2 could mean the difference between surviving or going out this round. We'll see if Cottontail can take him down.
No ult again. GP, please. Oh, bad ult.
Super rough. Although, you know, Urgot did just eat the Zerot minion, but that's fine because the rest of his team will wrecking everybody else. Cottontail stays alive. Zugrug out in 4th.
Yeah, that's rough.
Pat died. The Astro Snipers.
Yeah, Cottontail is in 2 hit points to 22.
I think Cottontail has this.
I think he has this too.
That'd be crazy. I can't remember the last time I saw a 6-star Guardian comp win a tournament game. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually think there's anything wrong with it except the mana reavers, and then he's just really strong. He got all the items he needed.
Yeah. I mean, look at that Janna as well. Janna too. He's got the Zeke's is great for speeding up champions like Syndra and Victor, of course, and he's flipping shield. Just
He
great
positioned
items.
the Urgot perfectly for the mech. It's over. Oh my god, the positioning.
Really
mech.
Cottontail.
Wow, that is definitely going to be 22
Oh.
points of damage, I think.
That was so good.
He did it. 2 HP is all Cottontail needs to win one of our 4th lobbies of the night, and doing it in style too. Even has the Star Guardian little legend too.
That Urgot was so craygasm. Just insta kill that mech. The whole front line's gone.
Yep.
That was good.
Simultaneously, like the worst feeling for one player and like the best feeling for another player is Urgot eating the mech.
Yeah. Urgot, such a troubled champion, man.
So we're gonna wait to see the results coming in from the other games. But Keen, you've been kind of keeping an eye on the other lobbies during that game. Did you notice anything significant?
So there's one going on right now. It looks like another Shredder comp is placing really high. It looks like maybe it's literally just winning right now. No, it's still win streaking, but it looks like the Shredder comp is on pace to win, and it looks like the other lobby also is a Shredder win, so it might be a double Shredder win in the other 2 lobbies. Which
no way.
I know Becca was looking for Shredder games, so it looks like you got a lot of VODs you'll be able to go peek at later.
No, I don't like Shredder. I don't like hearing that it's successful because what were they playing? 6 Blade Masters or the Celestial version or what?
Both of them appear to be 6 Blade Master.
Okay.
That's like, yeah. So not like the traditional Shredder comp, but like the Neo 6 Blade Master Shredder variation, but still going for like the 3-star Zaya, 3-star Jarvan.
3-star, yeah. Looks like Grand Vice is the one that is about to take first in this lobby. And then
cool.
It looks like Chaskeys took first with Shredder and the other one.
Oh, nice. So that's 3 of the Oceania players taking lobby wins tonight.
They're really
showing up.
Stepping up, they start off slow, due to some ping, maybe the delays finally catching up.
Hey, I can tell you why, man. It's because they had to start playing at pretty early morning time for gamers, right? Like over there, it was probably like around like 9 a.m. or something like that. And so it takes time to wake up. I understand that. I lived in that part of the world. I had to do things on U.S. time when I lived in that sort of like section of the earth. If you go like vertically, I guess time zone wise, I don't know, whatever. But my point is, hard to wake up sometimes.
They have woken up. It's the coffee buff, right? It's kind of like Chrono, 3 seconds in, they're a little faster. 2 games in, suddenly they're all in. You know, the brains are fully functional.
Yeah.
Yep.
So last game, they're all just going to take first. They're going to be thinking at hyperspeed.
There you go. Well, it's going to be Robin Songs taking a win in one of our other lobbies too. Cottontail as well. We saw him get the win in lobby B, and then Non-Tom TFT actually getting the win. So it looks like it was North American players that ended up taking it in the end, but still, you know, a better showing for the Oceania players as time has gone on. But that's big. I think without taking a look at the stats, which we will in a moment, I think Robin Songs is starting to put together a pretty strong day overall, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, really strong showing. I think this is his second first in a row. Definitely at least 2 firsts of a tournament. And I think this shows you, again, you know, Robin, he's not only a really good ladder player, he knows how to approach tournaments. I think his prep is really good. Generally, when I see him in a tournament, he knows what comps he wants to play, and he has really focused practice. So it looks like that's been rewarding him today.
Yeah, so here are the actual lobby breakdowns. And, okay, Grand Vice taking second in lobby A. Polt, again, a consistent result for him. He's putting together a really awesome day so far today. That's his 4th game in a row that I believe he's been top 4. Looking at some of the other ones, we saw lobby B. Lobby C, meanwhile, North American ladder monster Treebeard taking second in that one. Chatskis from the Oceania region taking third. And, oh no, Becca, Delicious Milk, dropping down to a non-top 4 finish.
Oh no. It's okay. He can come back! Energy! Okay.
It is all possible. Soju as well with the 8th place finish in lobby B. That is going to hurt his chances a bit, despite the fact that he's been having a fairly solid day so far. But that's 4 games down. We've got one more game remaining. Let's take a look at our next bit of stats here as well. See where things are at. Here's our winners composition for the lobby we were talking about. Keen, what do you? We had a long conversation about 6-star Guardian, about Sorks. What's your thoughts on that?
So I actually play a lot of Star Guardian Protector as well, and this is basically my final, like, if I could draw up the dream board, this basically is what it looks like. Becca mentioned the Warmogs on the front line earlier, but basically the Warmog is there to keep the Nico alive. If you have 2 of the ZZ Rat portals, that accomplishes the same thing, which is delaying the enemies from pulling back onto your backline, right? You saw what happened when they do get on the backline with the Teemo dropping the Shroom on all the Star Guardians, they all get popped, right? But if you can prevent them from getting back there, then this comp is, I think, really difficult to beat. There's just so much CC, it's just a lot of popping off. Becca was talking a little earlier about how she doesn't like to play it. I think part of that sometimes is because it does require, and you mentioned this as well, though, there's just a lot of nuances. You basically have to position and reposition every single turn. Otherwise, you just get caught.
Absolutely.
By too many different things. But, you know, it was really fun for me to see a Star Guardian comp come up. I'm kind of curious for you guys. You know, we started seeing Cybers fall off, and like it didn't seem like anybody was really playing Cybers in that lobby. Was that just a product of the map, or are people starting to lose faith in it a little bit?
I think Cybers is kind of a galaxy dependent comp in the sense that there's certain galaxies where it thrives, like Treasure Trove. I like it in those because you just get enough items to stack multiple carries. But I think in normal galaxies, it's not strong enough to want to lean into. And additionally, in Treasure Trove, although it's really good, if you don't hit Info Spat Aurelia, it's not any stronger than the other comps, in my opinion. So it kind of depends on A, the galaxy, and B, to take it first, getting that spatula is really huge.
Right.
I don't think it's fallen off. I'm just gonna assume that people didn't get it or people didn't roll it and they just didn't play it. I think it's just a coincidence. I don't think you would stop playing it after top 2 or top 3 a bunch.
Sometimes you just don't hit. What can you say? Sometimes the comp just doesn't show up that way. Well, guys, we're going to go to a quick break here. But before we do, I'll remind you, we'll shout out Juke.gg sponsoring this thing. They have been great all year for TFT. And so you've got a moment while we take a break to type !POV in your chat right now. That'll give you a list of all the players you can go watch. You can go cheer for someone as they're about to go into their last game. I'm not going to tell you to go trash talk somebody, but you know, if you feel the need, if you can do it in a civil manner, perhaps that's an option as well. Either way, thanks to Juke.gg for sponsoring the tournament. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the final game of the day, we're going to find out who makes it to that final lobby tomorrow here at the Teamfight Tactics Galaxies OCENA Finals, presented by Juke. Don't go anywhere. We shall return shortly.